Welcome back. It has only been 2 weeks. That's a record for a while. I admittedly been trying to be more consistent as I promised, and here I am. It's been a funny couple of weeks. Post the trip from 2 weeks ago. Yeah, recapped it with the kids. They loved it. They were just talking about the highlights of the trip. Definitely was the ease of pack up and setup, which was good to know. They had more time with myself. They actually had more time with their friends. They also liked the fact that we had a lot of time in the water being so warm. They make new friends, had a new crew, so it was really good to hear. Do you ever ask your kids to recap a trip, what we as parents or the facilitators of these trips can improve, whether it be better snacks or, how we handle things or how we set up, how we pack up, what to bring, what to not to bring? I can tell you now, the most useless thing to bring is a pump that comes with those stupid, like the blow-up donuts and stuff. That pump is useless. I just used my King's compressor they use for the wheels, for the tubes and the kayaks and whatnot. That was so much easier. Those pumps, chuck it out. There's so much better space to be utilised. Also, it's funny because I was looking through my gear and I've sold a few things that are not needed anymore. So there was a floor mat for the tent that doesn't fit my current tent. And I've got a Sea Gear one that fits just for underneath the gazebo, which I'm going to sell and get a bigger one to suit the tent and in front of the tent. So I'm not carrying two sets of floor meshes and stuff like that. So just compressing all my gear, trying to lighten it up because I weighed my car on the way home and I was literally just under GVM. If I had two more people in the car and more gear, I would have been over GVM, I believe. So, and just, storage in the garage. Like, there's limited storage in the garage at the moment. I don't want to have to use it all up. So, yeah, it's good to go through all that and actually recap it with the kids. It was good to hear what they had to say. And from that as well, I was just funny. I was looking on Full Drive 24/7. They'd done a Ute comparison. And there was a lot of people replying to it. How did this score this and how did this score that? But it's funny. I was looking at that, but I was looking at what the level of cars they use. So they use the Super Duty, which is fair enough. It's $100,000 car, new GVM, which makes sense if you've got a caravan or you're going to go over GVM with your load. Essentially, it's just trying to battle with the 79 series. In terms of GVM, so it can pretty much, it's something like you can tow 3.5 ton, but even more with 3.5 ton, but with a loaded ute as well, rather than 3.5 ton in XLT or in that wild track where you have to only allow to carry X amount in the car to reduce how much you tow. But to be honest, if you're going to tow 3.5 ton, get a 300 series, get a Yank tank to the Silverado or something. But the GVM on a 79 series is a little bit higher than standard because it's a lighter vehicle, but a lot of people get the 3900 or 4200 GVMs done. Some even get the 4495 done with the 300mm chassis extension with springs in the back rather than the leaf springs. So, seen that in my old employer before. Like, you buy 79 for 80, 90 grand for the GXL, slap another, $80,000 in wheels, tires, and suspension. Then add the train canopy. Like, spending another 120 grand on a 90 grand car. Like, that's exy. All right, Super Duty is about 100 grand. It's already done. Though you probably want to change the springs in the back because when you saw those things loaded, it does sink at the back. The engine's got more torque, but they've detuned it, their power to facilitate the extra load. Also, they've got, I think it's like an 8-stud wheel pattern, and there's not many wheels that come out aftermarket for that. So they've sort of limited the aftermarket, or you can got very limited aftermarket options for that vehicle. The train canopy is an open market for the likes of all the manufacturers who make them, so good on them. They're going to make some money off it because you can buy it as a cab chassis rather than cab chassis with a tray. So you got a little bit of flexibility there, but then you got to compromise with waiting 8 to 10 weeks for a train canopy. they're not just off the shelf. Some of those things, or some of the imports are. But if you want to get you spend $100,000 on a car, you're not going to put a crappy train canopy on it, in my opinion. But I actually have an XLS as a work car, and my colleagues have the XLT, and some have the lower model as well. But who cares? They're much of a muchness. But the difference is, like, my car has halogen lights, whereas the XLT has LED lights. And the difference between having candlelight headlights compared to LED, especially in our roads today, is so different. It just looks so cheap and nasty having halogen lights. I know I think the Hilux does it as well, but the XLS to XLT, both 4x4s, having that is just such a big difference at night. And to upgrade, you can't just upgrade and replace the bulbs in those, because they run on a particular voltage, and if the voltage drops on an LED or it spikes, it sends a code to the engine and you have all kinds of trouble. And the worst is you lose your warranty. Even silly things like the XLS hasn't got a map pocket at the back of the driver's seat, but does on the passenger. Like, seriously, like a VT Commodore came with two, standard came out with map pockets in the back of the seat. So you had to skimp out and be cheap and just put it on one. Like, it's really funny how they do things like that. I know they're trying to save money in between models and stuff. But really, like, halogen lights, one seat pocket, even the back seat in the middle hasn't got the armrest with the cup holders. And if you've got two kids, like, that thing is a lifesaver, especially when they put their bottles in. The Prado has it. Like, every car I've owned has had it. Even the base Navara had it, my old work car. This doesn't have it. And I just find it really, really funny. How between two models, stuff all in price, just has these stupid little things. And the funny thing is, Ford actually bring out their sport models, or like the black edition or whatever it is, and they base it off the XLS with halogen lights. And they go all this factory bonus. Yes, they're probably trying to push out the crappy cars because no one's buying, because they'd rather buy halogen. They'll spend the extra couple of grand on it. In terms of a company car, it's different. It's they're just getting whatever's on stock. I'm not going to complain about that. But if I was to be a private user, I'll be like, wait, I'll be definitely getting an XLT or above, because it has those better features. Funny, my car has, like, if you don't care about that stuff, it has a rear diff lock. Whereas I think certain models of Hilux don't have a diff lock until, say, SR, SR5. Well, the XLS is pretty much an SR. So, yeah, still, they're a bucket load of money. It's still 60 grand for a Ute. Like, that is insane. I know that everything's going up in price, but back to what I was saying, like, if you're going to buy a car, like, you got to really look at those little finer details, because the sales guy won't care. They won't tell you. You got to do your own research on that. You got kids, having that middle seat thing is a must. Having a rear passenger pocket for me is a must, because I just find it so much more convenient, especially in my role at work or life. Just having that extra storage there just really works. I don't care about the underseating. I've got car seats in the car. So that area is kiss goodbye. And I only have to raise that up if I'm using the spare wheel. But, like, stuff like that, you just think, why skimp out? Like, it's so much money. Like, I get, if it was like a 4x2, just a basic work car to go to and from site as a contracted Sparky, yes. But if you're going to buy it private, I'd definitely get LED lighting. It is so much better on the lights, reflecting on the lights, and high beams actually work. Mine are literally hopeless. Like, the Corolla we got has better high beams than a Ranger, and that's a 2009 Corolla. That's hilarious. It's like having the carpet, like the insulation behind the pedals, stops, so you just hear engine noise. It's like the firewall's there, of course, but like the insulation stops from the pedal. So when you're cleaning the car, there's so much crap behind it. Like there's those little things they skim on it. It's hilarious how they do it. And even the carpet is the worst carpet to vacuum. Like my 2013 Prado carpet is immaculate, and I've tortured that, but it's so easy to clean. Whereas a carpet underwear is something they get from Thailand or China, whatever. It is horrible to clean. You literally got to scrub it to get it out. The seat, like comfort wise, everything's all good. But if you're gonna buy private, spend the extra money, get an XLT if you're getting a Ranger, or get an SR5 if you're getting a Hilux. Just the little extras you get in that is just so much better, 100% better. If I was going to go between the two, I'd still go Hilux. As I know the front end looks a bit funky on the new one, but I guess, they're still working the 2015 platform. But the ease of use, having dials for demisting, auto, air conditioning and all that just works for me. Using a screen in the Ranger, you have to use, like if you press the demister on, it turns another function off, and you have to repeat it in a certain sequence to get it the way you want. So I like my car on auto 22 degrees with the recirculating going in and out of tunnels a lot. If I put the demister on, front window max for defogging the mirror and window in the morning, I have to go through all the settings in a particular sequence to literally get it the way I want. It's annoying. Like with dials and turning knobs, Prado has it. New Hiluxes still have it. Life is just so much easier, and they're better than ever. Like Hilux got rid of the volume knob and put it back on in one of the later models when they got rid of it in 2015. Like if a car doesn't have a volume knob for the volume, I'm out. I'm not buying it. I don't care. Like you're driving and having to, Tourette press the bloody button to turn the volume down is so annoying, or to just turn it off. It's just no. I'm not doing it. It's a no deal for me, to be honest. Also, if you are going to buy an XLS for work, highly recommend tinting the windows, because it doesn't have the privacy glass and it gets roasty in there because they use a different insulation in those vehicles compared to, say, a Land Cruiser or something else. They are trying to cut price. It is a trade vehicle in the end of the day. I get it, but tinted windows, particularly you got kids in the back or privacy in the back for your stuff, highly recommend it. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a rant between models. Like, I don't care who's got what car at work. Like, in the end of the day, we go A to B. It's comfortable. It does the job. But if I was private, that's what I'd be looking at, because, those little things are annoying. And there are so many on the market at the moment. I was just reading now that China is now, for the first time, China was the greatest source of new vehicles in Australia, as the likes of BYD, GVM, GW, and Great Wall Motors and Chery posted increases in last month. Like that BYD Shark, I've sat in one, a friend has one. They look sick inside. Don't get me wrong. Like, good to go around town with the ute, go to and from work, but the kids and stuff, if that floats your boat, cool. It's mainly a battery powered car, but with a little a little petrol engine just to pick it up every now and again. I think they look cool. They're freaking huge. Like, they're bigger than a Hilux and Ranger. I was surprised. But interior, like the inside, they look awesome, and they're only going to get better, to be honest, with all the feedback they're going to get from customers. And they do. It is a growing market. It's insanely growing. Ever since COVID, like, these cars are coming in like crazy. Like, there's a new brand every week. You can't even keep up with it. But to go camping with it outdoorsy, not for me. That they don't actually have like a low range. They've just got like different geared and all-wheel drive systems. So I don't know. That's not for me. I know a few people have them, and they look cool. And those guys are literally going to and from site from home, not doing any full driving, just needing to put some tools in the back. Like, good on them. Then they're probably saving some money. They're charging it at work and maybe at home as well. But yeah, I'm not into the market of that. Like, even the 48-volt hybrid system in a Prado gives me the heebie-jeebies sometimes, even though that was the only car that survived one of the Simpson Desert trips on that full drive 24/7 episode they brought out last year. It was quite epic. Like the GW. My first company car was a Great Wall Ute, the 2.24 litre car, one of the first that came to the country in 2012. It was the most uncomfortable, rattly car I ever driven. But hey, first time in the job, couldn't care less. I had a company car, saving up money at the time. It was pretty cool to have it, but literally it blew up and it got replaced. But what they've come from that to what they are today is insane. And the amount of models that are coming out is also insane. Like, your Hiluxes are always going to be popular. Your Rangers are always going to be popular. Like, you look at the market share, Toyota got still the most market share in the market because they actually have a broad range of vehicles, whereas Ford only really sell the Ranger and probably a couple of Mustangs, Transit vans, and smaller cars here and there. But, like, you gotta admit, like, hearing that, the Ford boss was in Australia and there are 1,500 engineers here, who I wish I was one of them many, many years ago, but not for me anymore. To have 1,500 engineers in Australia designing the Everest and Ranger is much respect to why I like those vehicles, because they are using Aussie smartness, their brains, our work power, what they've learned to design those vehicles, and watching what they've designed go on the market in Australia and around the world is insane. Like, respect to them. But they say that because of rising taxes and that they may be outsourcing that work elsewhere one day. That really sucks, due to high rises in taxes and whatnot. I think Ford should do anything they can do to save those roles, because if they want to share an Australian market, they need to use Australian people and Australian smarts and data to do so. Like, you got the likes of Toyota, they test in Australia. They got the likes of many other companies that do. Like, if anything that it's a bit of a fail to me, it's a Kia Tasman. That thing is ugly. Like, I seen them. I don't know why you would buy one, to be honest. They just look disgusting. They don't even look, I don't know. No way. It's a no for me for sure. It'd be interesting to see what they do moving forward. Hyundai even bringing out one. Well, if they're making Kias, they make Hyundais as well, right? So, it'd be interesting to see what that happens. Like, that Ute market is growing insane in the terms of how many people are playing in the market compared to what there were 10 years ago. It'd be interesting as Toyota actually bring out a new platform of that vehicle out to Australia, hopefully soon. Maybe not this year, maybe next, with a whole new chassis and whatnot. But if it's a Toyota thing, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Like, they're bringing out the 300 series in a 2.2 litre petrol hybrid. Now, that'll be not 2.2. Sorry, let me confirm that. Shouldn't just throw it out. They're bringing out a petrol hybrid engine for it because, like, the diesel Euro 6 compliancy is absolutely insane. I can't believe, like, what they have to add to vehicles now just to make it compliant to sell in Australia. It's not fair. Meanwhile, look what's happening around the world, what they're blowing up and whatnot. Like, you got these people all greenies and doing this, that, and they've got private jets going everywhere. They're burning more CO2 than per person than anybody in the world, the ones that are preaching this stuff. Ute taxes coming in. Like, there's a reason why I still got my 2013 Prado. Like, I don't want to... that's why I would go a 79 series. Mind you, I probably wouldn't because I don't have airbags for the rear. It just freaks me out. Seeing an accident on an Instagram post of a family of four that were pretty much unscathed because their 200 series got smashed on the side. And if it wasn't for the side impact airbags, their kids would have been in a serious condition hospital, but they weren't. They were extremely lucky. And that's why I probably would never buy an older vehicle. Like, even like it's not you, it's yourself, but it's also the other idiots on the road. You just gotta watch. And it's nothing against people that have one. That's my personal opinion. I'm not preaching it to others. I'm just giving my share of thoughts. So, yeah, definitely fruit for thought. But yeah, I would love a 76 wagon one day, but I'm happy with what I got. If it ain't broke, why fix it? I maintain it. It works well. It's a bit of a slug, but it does the job. So, yeah, in a couple of weeks, I'll have more to say about what's going on with the show. I've actually started a calendar of guests. It's going to be happening more after Easter, realistically. I've got a busy schedule with life and whatnot, but I've actually got like a booked calendar of people to talk to. I've got suppliers, I've got people who've done YouTube, I've got people on YouTube, I've got people that sort of have been probably, if you watched the four-wheel drive action days, used to be on the old school four-wheel drive action with Ruthie and stuff. Some stories to tell. Had some good chats with them at four-wheel drive show, and yeah, it was really interesting. So yeah, the likes of Tim Bates, if anyone knows that name, he'll be on the show. There will be Matty. He'll be on the show, Outdoor Touring Life. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. The Legends of Charity, I don't think I'll be going because I got my cousin's wedding on that weekend. But yeah, see what happens. But yeah, that's the little bit of a rant, I guess. You know, little bit of a discussion of what's on the market and ute-wise. It was funny seeing people comment, you know, all these things and don't even have a ute, couldn't afford it, but yet alone, you know, being keyboard warriors, of people are giving their opinions. So I love a keyboard warrior, but, you know, people will be people, I guess. People just got chips on the shoulder, just got to look internally at what's going on in their life if they have to be so angry at everybody else. So if you got issues, you know, go look internally, get some help, you know, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. But, yeah, it's just interesting how people react to free content and have to be nasty about it and get personal. So to those people who do it, gee, that sucks. I hate to be in your head. Oh, mind you know, as I said, get help or just be nice. Don't have to be an asshole. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. It's like all those people getting petrol right now and listening to news and everyone's like, oh, look, the petrol's low, the petrol's low. Yes, the farmers, that sucks that they actually can't do their work because they need petrol, and some of their places that are closed rurally have not got petrol. They should be prioritised. You know, I need petrol for work because I see my customers. I go through about a tank of diesel a week in my car. I do about 50,000 a year plus, and I need to pick up the kids. I guess it's, you know, storing all that fuel in a house is quite dangerous, or a shed is quite dangerous, unless you're in rural and you're a farmer and you have to go and get IBCs of fuel. I totally respect that. I understand. But, you know, there's no need to panic, I don't think. But the government need to do something after this. Like, we only got Viva Energy, who do Shell in Geelong and Ampol up in Queensland, and that's only 2 refineries doing our fuel. And they do a lot of jet fuel because we need jet fuel to fly planes. But we really got to do something about this country to, you know, supply ourselves, because we can't just rely on the world's global supply, because look what's happening now. And, it, you know, people panic and people just want to live the normal lives. It's stressful enough as it is to get through life with family life, living and whatnot. So, you know, hopefully they sort it out and ease the pain. And, you know, people actually said to me here today, I'm thinking about not going away because the cost of fuel is going to be $4 a litre possibly where we're going. And, you know, if you're going out in the middle of Alice Springs, that is a major factor of the cost. Like, you can't skimp on fuel. I mean, petrol. I mean, oh my God, sorry. Wow. Can't skimp on food and water. You can't, you know, you got to think of doing free accommodation or, you know, find free places to stay. But then everybody else is so expensive. You need water, you need, you know, supplies, you need to do washing. So it's become a point where, you know, what do you have to do to plan a trip around rising costs, if not availability of fuel in a rural area, especially when you're traveling? Like, it's things to think about, but hopefully not to panic about. And hopefully something sorts out in the next couple of weeks, because I think we will be having different conversations, which will not be fun. But, you know, is there ways to save money to go on a trip? Yes. Is there a way to make more money to go on those trips? Yes. Do I have the answers for that? No. We'll love your feedback or someone to come on the show to discuss that. Certainly. Contact me. Getting Out Pod on Instagram. info@gettingup.com.au. I love to have some people that actually have some advice on that, have done that previously. Come on the show. I will come to you. I'm in Victoria. I'm happy to discuss it. You know, it is going to be a hot topic soon. And I think having some professional advice and professional experience in people that know what to do in that area to help others go away a bit more often, or just go away at all, especially rural, would definitely benefit yourselves, the listeners, and myself as well to plan. So look forward to hearing if anyone can do that or anyone's got someone to reach out to. Hit me up. Appreciate it. But in the meantime, don't panic. Easter's around the corner. There'll be some good trips to go around then. But until then, have a great day. And yeah, if you want to have any feedback, anything that you want to ask, you know how to reach me on their socials. Have a great one. Bye.